Today we're going to talk about the email automation. So that is utilized on the projects page that we're on now. And if we actually go into a project, I'm using tabs just to save a little time here. So if we go into a project and we scroll down to this step 2, we provide a ballpark estimate and proposed delivery date. And the second table here, the first table is the ballpark estimate itself, creating it. And the second table here is the automation. It is actually you doing it. So checking this box right here would send an email. And so it's going to send an email to the email address that's in the field. This is the email field that looks up, and then you type the email address in here, and that's the email address it will use. And then these, we'll talk about these in a second from this point of the template. So we would get to the template from coming here for this table. We would come here to the blue button, go to the down arrow, and then float over the 3 dots and choose the edit option. And from there, we could actually edit this text that is here. So this is the default text. You want to edit it in the template so that every time that you come here, that text is correct. And so for now, I don't really need to do that to show you how to do it. You're going to go to the template, you're going to come to these 3 fields, and you're going to type in whatever you want to be here as the starting point. And then when you're in a project, right now we're in Chapman 114, we're in the projects area. We could also do this from the procedures. So if we were here in the procedures, we would scroll down till we get to or choose the ballpark estimate. And on the ballpark estimate procedure, in the maintenance portion, there's a portal into the exact same database with the exact same data, same checkbox to run the automation. And you can type into these fields the things that you want to be in them when you start doing that in the template. As I said before, you go to edit it. But one of the challenges we have is that right now this works perfectly. If I check this box, it will send an email. The problem is the automation itself, which is here in either place. So you see it here, we're in procedures. If I come back to the projects, we also see the exact same automation. So if we change it in one place, it changes it in both. So I'm going to go ahead and check on the automation. And then here you see the automation. It says email ballpark estimate. And if we just click on that, we will be in the edit mode. And what happens is these at mentions is basically what these are. So basically I'm saying in this field right here, trigger page for the ballpark estimate email salutation. So I'm saying to put in here whatever is in the field that's behind this box called the salutation. And then trigger page ballpark link is going to be also behind this field. And then trigger page ballpark estimate body, and you can actually see that through the grayed out portion here, that field. And if we scroll down a little more, I'm leaving a space between each one of these. Trigger page for the ballpark email close that you want to have in there. And you can see I actually have my signature down in there. Well, this works perfectly for me, but it doesn't work perfectly for you because you have to change this. So the send from email has to be logged into your account. And so when you click on this down arrow here and you say you want to add your email, basically what happens is that all of this stuff down here goes away. And so you have to replace that. And so that's the point of this video, is to show you how to do that. So when you say plus add my Gmail account, it's going to get rid of mine and you're going to link to your email account. And it does need to be Gmail. You can't link to anything else. So if you need to create a single free Gmail account just for this automation, you can certainly do that, but create an account specific to that or use any of your Gmail accounts, but link to one of your Gmail accounts. It will walk you through that process. It's not difficult, it's not hard, but once you're linked to it, these will be gone. Now anything you type into here will be there. So if you just wanted to type things in here and not utilize these fields, you could do that. If yours was so simplistic and you didn't want to reference things that were already there, the objective that I've created here is that I do want to be able to, from time to time, personalize this, maybe add something to it. I want to have this default data here, this information that is almost always going to be included, but I might want to personalize it in some way, and so I can add something to it or edit some piece of it to personalize it to the person. So I have a default text, so I don't have to try to think up or write this email every single time, but then that default text can be edited slightly, and we're just going to reference it here. And so to reference it, you just simply, and I'll show you here, I'm going to get down toward the bottom of this last item, and I'm going to hit enter, and that will give me another line, and then I'm going to hit enter again to give me the next line. And then if you just use shift at then it's going to basically give you some options here. You really don't have to know how all of this works, but basically everything we're wanting to do is say, I want to grab something from this trigger page, from where I'm at right this minute, the page that is triggering the automation. And so I could say, yep, I want to do that. And then it's just going to show you every field. And so you could show any field you wanted to show, but again, we have specifically created these fields here. So there's the ballpark link right there. And so if I said, hey, I want to grab that ballpark link, I would click on that. If I wanted to show the sheen for some reason, I could show that. If I wanted to show any of these things in this email, I could, but ideally you're going to be relinking each of the things that are behind here. We want to get the link, we want to get the salutation, the body, and the close. And so you would just be relinking those. That's all there is to it. It's not complicated, but if you've never done it, it's very difficult. It's like, what do I do next? Or even to know to click on that trigger page part of it. So that's how you would be able to go in here using that trigger page to be able to pick any of the fields that you want to reference. And so the email address right here is referencing to who it's going to send to. This is what's going to be in the salutation, and then I'm going to put a space between this, and then this is going to be displayed, and this would be taking them to see this, and there's a video about that, and then a space, and then this, and then a space, and then this. And if you want it to be different for somebody specific, like Chapman 114, anything you change here will be reflected in theirs, but the next time you create a new project, there will be the original default data without those changes that you made. And here you can see I'm actually putting into this text a link to my TidyCal. It could be Calendly, Odoo, anything you're using that gives you a calendar that they can schedule a meeting with you. You can put that link in it and it'll be in every single one of them. They'll go there and they can make those appointments with you. So apologize for the length of this one, but I felt like this needed to be made because we're finding with new users that when they link their Gmail account, those @ mentions go away and you need to put them back, and that's how you would do that. As far as this having default data, I will just jump in real quick and show you. It's exactly what we're looking at right now. We're in the new room template. We would go to the 3 dots. We would choose edit. When you're making these kind of changes, it really does make sense to go ahead and open it as a full page so you can see everything. You don't want everything kind of squished down into these pop-up boxes. And so to edit those fields, the default information that will be in them, you'll need to come up here to the view details in the top right corner. So we're on the room template right now, and we're clicking on the view details panel so that it opens up this panel over here. And then we just go down to those fields we want to edit. And basically these fields normally would be empty, but we're putting something in them to say every time we create a new room, for that room we want to have this data in it. Now we only use one of the rooms, so you only need to check one of the boxes to send this, and it's going to be in every room, but we only need to do it in one room. And so this is the data that will be in the box. And you can change this here. If you just click in these fields, you can change what's in there, make it what you want it to be. And then again, that's the default data. You don't want it to be customer specific. You want this to be default data, kind of generic. And then when you're actually in a room and ready to send one of those, if you want to personalize it in some way, maybe replace client here with their name, maybe add something about the project that is unique to them at the end of one of the sentences, however you wanted to do it, at the beginning, middle, end, whatever works good for you. But that's how you edit that. And then you'll always have this banner across the top telling you you're editing a template. When you're done, you just need to leave. You don't need to do anything else. And so then I would go to the 3 dots here and say go back to rooms. And I'll be right back where I was before I came into that. So that's how you edit the default data. So earlier we talked about editing the automation, and now we've looked at how we edit the default data, and that this all applies to all of the email templates. So I am showing you the ballpark estimate one, but there's also an estimate automation, there's also a drawings automation, and there's also a proposal automation. And what I've shown you now applies to all of those. And when you edit them in one, either the procedures or in the projects, in either of those 2 places, you will be editing them in both. And so you only need to do it one for each of the 4. Another thing, when you change out your account, it will change it in all 4. You just need to change the automation and add the @ mentions that I talked about earlier. That's it. That's how you do it.